This is the Marvel Strike Force Hall of Fame. We're taking a look at the best characters upon release with my brother MobileGamer. So, Blaster, Brawler, Controller, Protector. We're choosing the best characters, not as they are right now, but as they were when released. How dominant were they in the meta upon release? So are you ready for this, OMG? All right, I see you got your notes there.
Pad.
Let's do this. We're starting off with a Blaster class. Some of the best characters here. Now, we have a couple like obvious suspects for people that are playing recently. Kestrel, Silver Surfer, awesome characters, still dominant today. But if you look at how long these characters were dominant, I gotta go with this guy right here, ULTRON. Dark Dimension 2 character, so dominant in arena, in raids. I'm not sure if we had war at the time, but whenever war came around, he was dominant in there too. What are your thoughts on ULTRON as the best blaster in the history of Marvel Strike Force upon release?
I've got Kestrel, Silver Surfer, and then I circled ULTRON. ULTRON definitely made more of an impact on the game than any character that I can remember at all, like ever, right? I mean, like as far as like how important he was when he came out, like if let's say Doom was very powerful, right? But ULTRON at the time was more powerful than Doom is in relation to everything else. I remember unlocking ULTRON and feeling like I was playing Marvel Strike Force 2.0, like it changed everything.
I remember that as well, and I think war was out at the time, but the whole game did change because he was a one-man army. He would get all these bots on the field. You could have 10 bots taking out nodes solo with just ULTRON. I mean, he was so game-changing in time. Kind of fell off, and a lot of that I think is due to his lack of red stars and his bots not getting the red stars, and the dark promotion credits so difficult to obtain, and that's why I don't think he's dominant nowadays. But I think if he had the red stars,
I'm hearing,
you know, if we were able to get normal red stars.
I mean, I don't know about Doom 2.3, but I've heard people of using him inside of the tech node in 2.2 with a 5 red ULTRON. No, that's a commitment right there, right? Yeah, that's a lot of dark commitment.
What are the results?
I'm not willing to do that yet, but you know, other people are talking about it. You know, at a minimum, I want to be ready for Doom if they ever release Doom in that dark promotion credits, right?
Yeah, because even though ULTRON is good, Doom's got that double tag, and that makes him a lot more valuable.
I'm not recommending him necessarily in the tech. I think that's the reason why people are using him right now in the tech lanes in Doom is because of the void right now. But anyways, he still has some importance today, and I think that's mostly about him and the bots and Kestrel pinging and things like that. And actually, he pairs up really well with Minerva. So, because you know she gets all that turn meter when they die, the bots die, and if nothing else, is a distraction. You know, when the bots die. Anyways, he revives. He's a very good character. Yeah, but he for me was clearly the most dominant character than when he came out, like as far as just being that much better than everything else.
Yeah, and the game changed. I remember playing battles and stuff without ULTRON, and then the day I unlocked ULTRON, I'm like, oh,
yeah, it's a different game.
Different game. Yep. So very, very dominant. Not as important nowadays, but the people that were playing around Dark Dimension 2 time, you guys remember how dominant ULTRON was. All right, let's move on to the next class of characters. This one is a little tougher, man. You might not like my pick. We got some obvious awesome choices here. Symbiote, Spider-Man, Deathpool, Captain Marvel. I mean, we scroll down here. We got America Chavez, one of the most dominant characters in the game. X-23 was also good. I think for myself though, and the impact that she made on war, how annoying she was, I'm gonna go with Captain Marvel. I know some people think Symbiote Spider-Man, and probably not incorrect picking Symbiote Spider-Man because of what he's done. Even today in the raid, still very dominant in the city sections, the dark dimensions, and all the city sections or the bio sections of the raid. I'm gonna go with Captain Marvel though. Who did you end up picking for the top brawler upon release?
I think I put Symbiote Spider-Man for a couple reasons, but Captain Marvel I think may have had more impact at the time she was released. You know, because she was released in a very fair way. I remember that very specifically.
Yeah,
it was good, and she was very strong. And then also her self healing, and people that were able to get a high red stars on her. You know, her on defense became a one-woman army, and it was quite annoying. And just, you know, she was healing up faster than you could kill her, and you know, an entire team, unless you had some sort of turn meter removal, like you had to take a whole team to take her out. It's kind of annoying. She was definitely more of a stat-based character than let's say Symbiote Spider-Man, and I don't think I think Symbiote Spider-Man was a little lower key because there was only a 3-man team at the time. But the 3-man team, the 3-man at the team at the time, really opened the door for Anti-Venom and Scream, and I think Symbiote Spider-Man has had a much longer run than any of the other brawlers that we're talking about here.
Yeah, I think exactly. I remember Symbiote Spider-Man and Venom and Carnage were the 3-piece.
Yeah.
They were good. They weren't as dominant as symbiotes are now with Scream and Anti-Venom in there. So, yeah, it's even more so I think Captain Marvel was more dominant
on release. Captain Marvel, but as far as importance over time, like what character, like if you think about like a Hall of Fame type character, who's been important for a longer period of time, without a doubt, Symbiote Spider-Man. In the total history of the game, Symbiote Spider-Man has just been like a top character for years, right? I mean, how long? I mean, symbiotes, I guess, fully got their full team a year ago, but they were out. Symbiote Spider-Man came out how many months before?
The beginning. Yeah, so
we're coming up not quite on maybe 18 months, 20 months on Symbiote Spider-Man just being a very important character. But Captain Marvel. The problem with Captain Marvel, I never really got into Captain Marvel for some reason. I just thought she was a stat machine.
It was because of the movie. It was because of the movie. It was
the movie, and the movie was the movie. I think also too. I think the Phoenix movie, the last Fox X-Men movie came out around the same time, and I remember thinking, oh, it's the same movie. Yeah, and it was about. It was just and I remember the idea that they actually had to change the X-Men movie, which had all the Game of Thrones characters and all that stuff. Anyways.
Yeah, the longevity. Yeah, Symbiote Spider-Man. He almost had 2 lives. His normal life, and then his second life that we're still in now. And we thought it was going to end,
and he's very good in Doom 2. I just ran Doom 2.3 today, and they hung. They're fine. I mean, it was ugly. Nice. They timed out, but you know, and I had to double tap some of the nodes that I would have single tapped otherwise. But symbiotes are still running strong, man.
They are. All right. Are you ready to go down the trip of memory lane with our controllers?
Sure. I think I've got this one here. I think it's pretty clear for me which one I thought.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of great characters there. Omega Red just released yesterday. As of recording this, Doom was dominant. Jubilee's awesome. Emma Frost, very, very good. Hela, one of the dominant characters. Magneto. I think a lot of people. He was released all the way back in year 1. I think a lot of people forget
Magneto,
how dominant
Magneto's kind of like the symbiote Spider-Man.
I
think Magneto adds value today, and he's been out forever. You know what I mean? But for me on this list, without a doubt, it's Phoenix. She was definitely the most dominant. Yeah.
I was saying it. I got 2 more honorable mentions, but I picked Phoenix. Yeah. I did want to go a little more in year 1 though. Talk about Black Widow and Quake because they were very, very strong. I don't know if you remember that team. Black Widow, Quake, super dominant.
You can watch my original top 10 list, and Black Widow and Quake were always on them. And because that was all about being able to clear positive effects. And the slow,
and the speed.
Black Widow had speed up, and Quake had slow, and now Quake is completely gone, and Black Widow has had some reworks.
Yeah, but she's got another life too on the military skill. But yeah, I think we picked the same character. Phoenix, so dominant. I mean, she just started losing viability with her not getting Dark Phoenix not getting the red stars, but ever since release. Till the next, maybe even ISO 8. Till ISO 8 was released.
I think
almost a 2-year span.
Kestrel knocked her off.
Very dominant.
Is what it was. I mean, Kestrel's a hard counter to Phoenix. I mean, there's how useless is Phoenix now when Kestrel basically prevents the Dark Phoenix from summoning. I mean,
yeah, but how many knows you got Phoenix? She doesn't. Dark Phoenix doesn't get red stars, doesn't get ISO 8 bonuses.
She doesn't get.
I don't know. There's a bunch of issues with Phoenix, but going down memory lane, back in the past when she was very, very dominant, we had that.
She still gets the stats from
thing.
red stars. Like if your primary has the red stars, the Dark Phoenix summons stronger, and same thing with the ISO 8. Not necessarily the ISO 8 bonuses like the 20. Yeah, the striker, skirmisher, and then the health bonuses from that. But the actual stats, like the 2, 4, 6, 8, if you have a green ISO 5 on Phoenix, you're getting that 10% stronger Dark Phoenix, and then all the red stars, you're getting the stronger Dark Phoenix. So but it's I think what really killed her off was just Phoenix, was Kestrel. Kestrel just prevents her from summoning altogether. Guard, very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know where to use her now, but do you remember back in the day when she was released? We had that triangle effect with I don't know what I can't remember off the top of my head. The shield would counter Brotherhood. Brotherhood would counter Shield would counter Defenders. Defender was counter Brotherhood.
You're going way back.
Brotherhood would counter the Shield. And then Phoenix was released, and then she and Colossus were everywhere. Anywhere you could have Phoenix and Colossus, they were smashing. Whether it be war or raids or arena, I mean, they were all over the place for the longest time, and she was so good. And I don't know if she'll ever come back to what she was with ISO 8 and Kestrel and
I've
Red
seen
Stars,
a super confusing team on defense a lot in war lately, which I very much like, which is Phoenix Colossus with Jubilee, Beast, and Bishop. And so, yeah, it sounds horrible, right? Because horrible. Beast synergizes with both teams, right? And then you've got the tanks and the taunts, and so when you first see it, you think, oh, Phoenix, I'll just use Kestrel and Secret Avengers, and then what happens is, if you summon anybody, Jubilee's passive pops off, and you get wiped by the turn meter, and it's kind of it's a confusing team. Anyways, I've seen that a lot lately, and I think it's an interesting team for sure.
Yeah, that sounds scary. I think one day I'll face that, and I'll have to come up with a decent solution. But yeah, Phoenix is going to be my pick, and we're agreeing so far. But let's move on to Protector as far as this. Now, I picked kind of a little outside the box on this one. I don't know if we had the same one for Protectors, but there's a bunch of different ways we could go with this team or with the characters. We've got a lot of good ones here. Captain Sam, very, very recent. One of the better protectors in the game right now. Let's go even further down in memory lane. Crossbones. How fearful of you in the first few months were you of Crossbones when he was coming out? That big.
Outside of hand, there was no team synergies at the beginning of the game, and literally, it was Crossbones synergized with Kingpin, which is bonkers if you think about it. You're trying to get an offense up ultimate pop off on Crossbones. But yeah, that was kind of, I still think Black Widow and all that stuff was stronger at the beginning of the game. I have a very strong pick for which one I think is the best on this. And I think it's a personal favorite for me.
All right. Juggernaut, also very dominant. He was very tough to get around in arena or any mode. Now there's a lot of focus that you can get around him, but he had so much resistance in the beginning. It was hard to get those taunts off. Yo-Yo, so dominant for so long. Offense downs on the enemies. I'm gonna have to go a little nostalgic with this pick, though. There's a lot of great protectors. I'm gonna go Captain America because of that triumvirate that he formed with Black Widow and Quake in those early months of the game. Probably the first 6 months. Probably one of the best characters in the game. After that, not as dominant. A little nice rework with the Wave 1 Avengers, but there's a lot of different suspects here, so you could have went a lot of different ways.
I want to say about Captain America, and you got to give credit to where credit's due. I believe the Wave 1 Avengers was probably the best rework of all time, meaning the characters were now useful and important, but yet not meta, and they still are useful, right? And you know what I'm saying, right? Like they got reworked, and you could build a team, you could choose Thor could go on as Guardians, or he can go wave 1. Really, the odd man out was Iron Man, and that's the only one that didn't get the. But the wave 1 Avengers itself, between Hulk and Captain America, and Hawkeye, and then you throw. We got to make a lot of choices. Do you want to put Coulson there? Do you want to put Thor there? Do you want to put Black Widow there? Anyways, it turned out to be a great rework. For me, the most impactful protector of all time, for me, without a doubt, is Yo-Yo. And the thing about Yo-Yo is Yo-Yo, not only did the Yo-Yo Black Bolt thing last a long time, but I think we saw it as specifically. And remember when we had actually the fun PvP, with the drafting and stuff, except for the drafting was horrible. But a yo-yo would win the match sometimes, like a single yo-yo, and just the nuanced thing that she didn't work with other protectors, and then you had to like navigate around not pairing her up with Invisible Woman or Thanos, and then just like you had to actually know where she was going to work and where she wasn't work. I just that persistent offense down made her viable in raids. And then just the duo of Black Bolt and Yo-Yo was just so incredibly powerful. And I really personally just totally enjoyed this idea that she didn't work with other protectors. I thought that was fantastic.
I think that was a fun idea at the time, and then when you would actually pick someone
I did it a bunch of times.
It's a protector.
You forget who's a protector. Like Invisible Woman's a protector, right? And some of them are not obvious because protectors, and also I think she was like, protectors traditionally had been like Juggernaut, Rhino, Blob, like these Drax, like. You have this big, a protector's a tank. No, Yo-Yo kind of flipped the tables on what a protector could be. Same thing with Yo-Yo and even Phyla to a certain degree. I mean, so it kind of challenged the idea of what a protector means, and that it's not just a tank, Cull Obsidian type character, whatever.
Yeah, everything you said, I agree with. I think I'm a little more nostalgic with my pick with Captain America.
You're a huge Captain America fan. That was your main in Marvel Future Revolution too, right? So.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So little biased, but I agree with everything you said about Yo-Yo. There's a lot of good ones here, and some of them are still very, very effective. Let's move down to support, because this one I have a specific character in mind that I have the most dominant character. Let's talk about some others that didn't quite make it. Minerva. Oh my goodness. We had Mantis released and she was the best raid healer at the time, and then Minerva, very next character, and everybody forgot about Mantis.
Minerva's my pick.
So
but anyways, I'll let you fit. Yeah, Minerva's my pick. Yeah.
Is your pick? Okay,
yeah, different pick.
Oh, good. We got a different pick this. Okay, so yeah, Minerva is very good. I'll let you continue on her. Let me make some other picks. So Maw, obviously very good character. Anti-Venom, we talked about how he brought Symbiote Spider-Man back in the fold. Adam Warlock, very, very good character. But let me, before I make my pick, let me go down here and talk about Night Nurse, because she was the best raid healer in year one for a little while, but that was until Nick Fury came out. Because when Nick Fury came out, SHIELD was the best team in Arena. They were the best team in the raids. They were the best team in Blitz, which was a lot more important back then. And they were very dominant in War when Coulson came out. So I'm gonna pick Fury, but it's very, very close. It's either Fury or Minerva. I went with Fury. Tell me why you picked Minerva.
Minerva and Mr. Sinister. Mr. Sinister was kind of on my list there. Mr. Sinister was on the top of my list, and he was just like, I just liked his play style, and he was very useful. I specifically like Mr. Sinister. My favorite time with Mr. Sinister was using him in Dark Dimension 4 along with Ghost. I mean, it was just a lot of fun, right? But Minerva, Minerva came out with Captain Marvel, and think about, let's just compare the life expectancy of Captain Marvel and Minerva. And I think this speaks to the idea of stat-based characters and kit-based characters. I think Minerva is you know, the definition of a kit-based character. She basically was what all Dark Dimension 2 was just about her, you know, protecting her and feeding her energy, and that was all Dark Dimension 2 was her. Well, you got to do her passive. Her passive is great. Her passive is the only one. More speed bar. Speed.
Oh,
but it depends on if you're pairing her up with like, you know, she gets paired up with Doc Ock, you know, and then the Shocker dies, or you get paired up with Ultron and the bots die. But I don't know. But I'm just saying, you're not playing her. But I don't know. It's such a long. I mean, I don't know if it's worth doing now. But anyways, it's worth. Don't do it right now because I don't know if it's worth doing anymore.
I thought I had more T4s going to do it. I'm like, I got 900. So I was like, yeah,
no,
maybe
I'm just saying,
wait.
but I've gotten a lot of use out of that T4, right? But I don't know if I would do it now. You know, but anyways, I think I just, you know, like Captain Marvel, I think I stopped playing a year ago and I'm still playing Minerva today. And they both came out at the same time.
Yeah.
And
I still think, run her as like,
and if I were to guess, Minerva was overtuned and the developers released her into the wild. And then a month later, they're like, how do we unwind this? Or maybe even 2 weeks later. I feel like they really didn't expect her to be this good. And I think they've been building the game around her. She's probably the biggest thorn in their spine as far as a character that was overtuned at the time. I believe Shang-Chi's that way too. Also, by the way, Shang-Chi, I think they're also worried about him, and they've been working around him for a minute now too.
Well, there's a couple differences. Shang-Chi wasn't working as intended. Then they made him work like that. Minerva, I heard a little different rumors.
I don't know if it's true. I don't tell the story because I don't know if it's true.
I don't know if it's true or not. I don't even remember where I originally heard it from, but I've been saying it for so long. I don't know. I heard that there was a dev that, like, let's see if we could get this past people. So she had this crazy kit. The person that designed the kit was like, they knew it was crazy. Let's see if it gets this approved. And it got approved. And it got into the game. And we got this crazy thing in Dark Dimension 2.
Was he a fan of the comic version of Minerva or the Captain Marvel version, the movie version? Because it's the same actress as Cersei in Eternals, right? Yeah, so I wonder if that person's still there.
Yeah. Josh Brolin is in the game twice as well.
Yeah. So anyways.
All right. But yeah, she's a very good character. I almost picked her, but I picked Fury. And the reason I picked Fury, not because of this awesome costume, but because they were dominant everywhere for so long. Do you remember that? Every solution to every problem in the game was Shield.
I got him late, until and so he had fallen off a lot by the time I got him. And then also there's something about, you know, how he like, you push buttons, put buttons, and it was like a slow death by 1,000 stings battle that I never enjoyed. The Shield mirror matches were the worst. People don't like the Black Order mirror matches and the Infinity Watch. The Shield versus Shield was the worst. And yes, he's kind of having a resurgence now today. You know, because, you know, you can use him with the Secret Avengers team and he's fine. But I for something about, like, I burned out on his kit, it's Ultron 2 kind of has it to a lesser extent, you know, bots, boost, bots, boost. And it was the same thing, like, but mirror matches with Nick Fury was like, oh my God, it was just forever.
Those were horrible back in the days. The Infinity Watch is so nice.
I hate that too, but that's not the point. Yeah, anyways.
All right. So that is it. That is our blast from the past. Reliving some of the memories of Marvel Strike Force, some of the great characters, we didn't talk about that. But if this video goes well, you guys enjoy this, maybe we'll do some of the dishonorable mentions of these characters.
Dishonorable mentions, about
looking back some of the past
the
Marvel
best
Strike
the
Force?
game for 2 weeks.
Man. She was awesome for 2 weeks, dude. She was the best.
Red Guardian, best taunting take for 2 weeks or something until Bishop came out or something. Oh my God. I think Skill Military, Wakanda, Pimtech, you know, all of those teams had some like, oh man.
Pimtech.
Oh my
Wakanda,
God.
Yeah. And hey, they're all on the lane
man,
in gamma rays.
you have to use them.
We get
they
to still
serve some
enjoy them
purpose because
today.
you were forced to use them, right?
Yes. All right. So I don't know. We talked beforehand. We may or may not go to your channel, do another video, depending how inspired you were by this. So we may be going to your channel or not. The links are going to be down below. Anything else before we go, brother? All right. Gamers are cool, guys. Remember that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, ring the bell, join the notification squad. I will see you guys next time. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Hopefully this update comes without a lot of problems, and hopefully you enjoy this trip down memory lane. Big shout out, MobileGamer. Check his channel. Links are down below. Give me that fist bump before you go, brother. There it is. ValleyFlyin, MobileGamer.
Finish that screen.
Woo, yeah.